Welcome to week 3 of the Artist Way. Happy birthday to Ariel. Last week it was Ariel's birthday. And then this week is Grishby's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Grishby.
Thank you.
The Met Gala is on right now, so if you see me looking over, that's what I'm looking at. I see Donatella Versace. I feel like this guy right here is the former designer for Gucci, Alessandro. I think that's him. But SZA looks amazing. She looks like a queen bee. Um, yeah, so me and Kyra on the phone. We're like, this is our Super Bowl, the Met Gala. Um, so yeah. And then I was also telling everyone I got a fragrance order from Facebook that came in at the same time as the Garden of the Beloved kit from Resonance Apothecary. Um, so yeah, it's just so exciting. Met Gala, plant medicine, perfume, so exciting. Um, so welcome to week 3, y'all. Let's see. I did not get a chance to listen or read Nature as Teacher from the Creative Act. So, if anybody did read it, does anybody want to share? I know Kyra, you said you got a chance to listen to that part.
No, I didn't listen
Wow,
to it,
this
but
is
I
cool.
did
Thank you.
see
This looks so
I
good.
read a little bit of the
This down to me. Everyone's like, but they don't film.
attention,
It is
awareness.
film.
Oh, awareness.
Mhm.
Okay, so we can start there. I can before we go in. There goes Sabrina Carpenter. I like her headpiece. Um, So the homework was to read Awareness from the Creative Act because in week 2, Julia talked about attention, and I didn't really get into the prompts all that much, but I was tracking everything, and one of the things that I was really tracking is where is my energy and where's my attention going. Um, a lot of my attention lately has been going into scrolling in fragrance Facebook communities. Like I've noticed that I've gotten to a point to where like I'm not even thinking about it. Whereas like I used to open my phone and go straight to Instagram. Now I'm instantly going to Facebook, clicking on Marketplace or clicking on the form or whatever, like just to talk about fragrance with people, and then see if anybody is selling anything. This lady looks pretty in her brown. Um, and yeah, so yeah, I've noticed that a lot of my attention has been going to that. And then also I have been feeling not so much in control of my own energy. Like I feel like I've definitely gotten to a point to where um like the when I it's bad. Like when I'm scrolling perfume, the cookies on the internet have figured out that I've also been shopping Victoria's Secret. And so it'll have like a Victoria's Secret ad, and then I'm supposed to be looking up something, and now all of a sudden I have like a shopping cart open. So my energy has been like split in that way. So I have been able to track that. And then when I do get to points where I do feel in control of my energy, um, I find myself wanting to just find moments of stillness. Um, so yeah, there's that. But yeah, Kyra, if you could share with us what you got from the awareness chapter with the Creative Act.
Okay, so what I'd say about it as it relates to what she was saying last week and week 2 about paying attention. I see this one part that I have underlined here, and it says Um, the universe is only as large as our perception of it. When we cultivate our awareness, we are expanding the universe. This expands the scope, not just of the material at our disposal to create form, but of a life we get to live. And I keep thinking about
Here, having a great
really
day.
quick.
Is that?
I keep thinking about this time me and Tiana had went to brunch, and there was this guy who was eating this toast. It was a thick piece of toast, and he was spreading this like really the butter was just so like it was whipped really nice. Like it was like shea butter whipped butter. You remember that? And then he spread this jam over it, and then the jam was like falling from his hand, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's so sexy and erotic. Like it's doing something for me." Like it looked good because the toast was like thick and just, but it also was like attractive too. But it's just like little moments like that, if I wasn't paying attention to it or looking at it, I wouldn't even get to see or learn or my universe of like whatever interests me and like and what I like, and just like I wouldn't have been able to tune into that if I wasn't just like present with that moment. So, I mean, I feel like it's relevant, but kind of like not, but it's just like being aware of of things around you, of people, places, things, etc. Like, I mean, I guess it is relevant because from that moment I could write something. Like I could write a song, I could write that into a movie. I could fantasize about that. I don't know. I could do a lot of stuff with that just because it's like there was so much information and inspiration within that moment because I was lit up inside. And so I just think awareness kind of does that. Even if you like move to tears at how beautiful um like a sunset is, or just like whatever it is that you're tuning into, and you just tune back into what it makes you feel. I think that that's just that's beauty, that's creativity, that's like aliveness around you. And so yeah, that's basically what I'd share from that. Yeah.
That's so good because when we access creativity, we're accessing our craftsmanship to stewarding beauty. And oh, I love that reminder. Oh, look at Tyla. She looks like a mermaid. She looks so pretty.
I'm also multitasking, y'all, and watching this too. So I'm really like I'm trying. I feel, see, this is what the awareness is happening. I'm splitting my
Hmm.
awareness, but I'm still here. I'm just trying to
Yeah.
stay
She looks
locked in.
so she looks really shiny and like
Radiant, honey.
sparkly. Yeah, she looks like
Zacatang.
a siren.
Dripping. Fresh out
Mm-hmm.
the water.
Yes. And I remember that moment too when we were both looking at the guy with the toast, and that brought us into the conversation about how being able to be present like that causes you to not need things to be so intense. Like that quote that you were reading by Miriam. You read a quote to me on the phone just now about how, do you remember what the quote said?
I'll tell you what it said. Hold on. I'll tell y'all what it said because this was juicy. I was like, oh, I like this. It made me think. She said, stop believing that intensity means there is a stronger or more powerful connection. Sometimes all intensity actually means in a relationship is enmeshment.
Mm, yes. There goes the guy from The Beauty, the one who played the he was the assassin's sidekick. But yeah, so when I think about that, like that conversation about the toast brought us into how um some people who aren't attuned or like present like that wouldn't see a moment like that as anything. Plus, they may be eating the toast like it's kind of like the difference between getting a jar of toast from Kroger versus getting like your toast crafted and
Like
somebody who's
handmade.
yes, exactly. And so what we were experiencing with that guy's toast was exactly that, because you can tell that the butter had been taking time to be whipped. The jam had taken time to be crafted in that way, and it just became like this sensory experience. And I remember that we were talking about how that's how some people get to the point to where they everything is like pornographic, where everything is just like so exaggerated because people are a lot of people are like numbed out to where they need things to be so extreme. Like I can use perfume for example. Like you'll have a perfume that is um that's marketed to be light for its artistic purpose, but then you got companies that go out and make a dupe of it, and they're like, this one's stronger, this one lasts longer, and stuff like that. But it's like it's not always the original purpose of that fragrance wasn't necessarily meant to be intense or like strong and stuff like that. It was constructed on purpose to be like a fleeting moment or it was constructed on purpose to be light because there's a certain type of sensory experience, a certain type of like energy and attention that goes into being able to like perceive um, that lightness. So basically all that to say, the more that we attune to our creativity, the more sensitive that we become, and like it just becomes like this endless cycle of one feeding into the other, where your creativity serves uh your psychic sensibility, it serves your ability to perceive, and it takes that attention and awareness to to serve each other. Um, so yeah, through this week, as I was tracking attention, um, I found there were pockets where I wanted to recalibrate with nature. And so, again, I didn't get a chance to read the Nature as a Spiritual Teacher, but I'm sure you all can understand and relate how nature plays a big part in getting us to slow down and be attentive to the moment. Oh, here you go, Lucy. I was looking down. You can unmute.
Oh, you're fine. I'm so bad at like trying to find my where do I like jump in, especially when I'm like new to a space. But
That's okay.
yeah, it was making me think of I think it was in Following the Breadcrumbs with Mariam, and she said something about how there's like the plan that like you think about and that you plan out with all the details and do all the things. And then there is the better plan, which is the one like underneath, and it's kind of like like God's plan or the universe's plan that has this like infinite intelligence, but it's actually only really available in the moment. And it's like only there can you kind of like access it. And it makes me think of like there is like a creative energy to it as well, where like, you know, and that like attention, like being able to pay attention and notice and like it's kind of like there's like an air to it, you know? There's like something kind of starts to like engage with you. So when you're talking about the whipped butter and the jam, it makes me think of like that, of like it's only available in that present moment when your attention is there, otherwise like it wouldn't be there if your attention isn't there. It's like the two have to kind of meet. So yeah, that was just I just wanted to share my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and it makes you like moments like that will make you look at moments, or it'll make you look at things like fast food, like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that I've been going along just consuming things without being present with them. Um and just the fact that like things like fast food exist, it's just so interesting because there's like so many steps that are skipped um with things like that. So yeah, I feel like I can go on about that forever. Does anybody else want to add anything about awareness, anything from Rick Rubin's chapter awareness, and or Julia's section on attention?
I'm looking at the nature as a teacher, like skimming it, and he's basically uh is basically a thing about awareness in this too, but also just
Mhm.
the way that natural things are. But it says simply be aware of moments where when your breath gets taken away by something of great beauty.
Yeah.
Obviously that's relevant to what we're talking about. But
Mhm.
deepening our connection to nature will serve our spirit, and what serves our spirit invariably serves our artistic output. The closer we
Mhm.
get to the natural world, the sooner we start to realize we are not separate, and that we create, that when we create, we are not just expressing our unique individuality, but our seamless connection to an infinite oneness, which goes to what Julia says in the what is it, the there I was trying to say it earlier too when we were talking, the rules or the affirmations, that's what it is, the creative
Mhm.
affirmation. She talks about that, um and just how basically, we're connected to God in that way, or universe, or however,
Yeah.
it's
I
all
feel like
connected that way, the
yeah, I feel
divine.
yeah. I feel like nature is one of those instant reminders. Um and then also how nature requires us to pay attention. Like today I took a walk and went to the water in my apartment complex. We have like this little um water pool, and normally it doesn't do anything for me, but today just like the sound of the trickling water was just really clarifying and stuff like that. And also I feel like many of us, being American, we have a tendency to expect experiences from things. So like I had was listening to the water, and I was just expecting like this super spectacular spiritual experience to happen just from listening to the water, like some sort of tingle to come down my spine, or like some sort of like entirely revolutionary thought just drop in at the top of my head or whatever. And that didn't happen. And I had to tell myself, like, just because something like extraordinary didn't happen doesn't mean that you're not getting medicine from it. Like it goes into what I was saying about people needing things to be so intense that it almost creates just like this pornographic energy um, that just happens everywhere. While just the sound of the trickling water is the experience. Like it doesn't have to be like this heightened overly sensational thing. I feel like I feel like that's a California poppy type of uh expression, like the flower essence California Poppy, I feel like it helps with that type of thing, like feeling like you always need these extremely spiritual experiences to happen. But I do think that it's like a side effect of being American. It's something about um this country that causes you to just be overstimulated or just like overly just needing the intensity of something. And so um yeah, I feel like if anything, being by the water helped me to like dissolve that. Um, Ariel said consumerism of everything. Like, yes, so extractive.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the word I wanted to, I couldn't, I'm on my phone now. I wanted to raise my hand and say it, but yes, like you were
mhm.
saying, the extractive energy. That's what I
Yeah, yeah, extractive energy. And then speaking of such, like the perfume groups that I'm in and stuff like that, these women will have like towers of fragrance. They'll have like closets and closets full of fragrance. And it's just like there's no way that you can get to all of that. And all the people that have been pulling up to the gala right now have just been killing it. Um, but yeah, like I'll see they'll have towers and towers of fragrance. And lately is I've just been looking at it like, oh my goodness, like this is not like the flex that they think it is because um you have so much stuff now that you can't even enjoy it. And I'll be texting Kyra like, oh, I don't want to become like these ladies. Like, I want to be able to like really enjoy what I have. But I think that basically what I'm trying to say is that these women are expressing a larger thing that we're seeing. And basically what it is like what Ariel said, the consumerism of everything. And I think that may be because America, just the way that America was founded was on like an extractive type of like foundation. And yeah, so um I'm putting up a rose for all that. I feel like I'm getting off track, but I also feel like all of that needed to be expressed. Does anybody want to talk about the artist date that they went on this week?
I'll talk. Huh? I can't hear you.
I said, okay, and then I'll share mine after you.
Okay, so I said I was gonna do dancing, and I definitely did the dancing. I actually did it the day after, I think. And it was fun. It was like not not what I was expecting it to be. I thought that the way that they would be showing or teaching the class would be a little bit it would be paced differently. At one point, because I was recording myself, I was like, I'm not gonna let these girls upstage me, honey. Because I started to feel like, damn, like this is good. These are people who are like super professional, so they were killing it. But I was like, oh, I thought this was just a warm up. They were like taking it there. I was like, oh, okay. But I still was having so much fun doing it, and I did wear the leotard, and I was just so happy about the whole process. And I was like, oh, I'm looking forward to doing this again. But before I do this, I'm gonna actually warm up because this is not a warm up. This is like this is a after you've already warmed up kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that. I'm glad that I did it, and I want to do it again. And I was like, oh yeah, and sometimes when um, like whenever I get back into my movement routine, whether that's dancing, yoga, Pilates, blah, blah, whatever, I'm always reminded of like, ooh, you haven't been doing this for a while and I can feel it. And I'm just like, okay, so now you just get back in the groove and then you won't, this will just be a moment, that you're feeling like that. But I overall had a great time. I loved it. I was laughing. And it was cool. I enjoyed it.
And you found the video on YouTube or you had the actual disc?
So I wanted to get the disc, but instead, like in the meantime, I just bought it from Vimeo. Is that
Oh,
Vimeo?
okay.
Um, yeah, they have a bunch of the um like the ones that are on DVD, they just have them sold where you can just get like you pay at $20 and then you just have it forever, which is about how much
Ooh.
people are selling a DVD for, but times like some of them are like $50. So I'm like, oh, let me just get this for now. That'll do. And so yeah.
Oh, okay. Um, I love that you did the leotard, and I was gonna say something else. I was gonna say something else. I'm distracted by the Met Gala again, but I just that the number that Sarah Paulson is wearing is the Mercalis for Facalis or whatever. The designers from Tumblr who have been dressing Gaga lately. The
Mm.
outfit that she wore with the money on it
Uh,
is
That's fecal
yeah,
matter.
fecal matter.
Fecal
Fecal matter,
matter.
yes.
Okay, wow.
Yeah,
I
so she
love
looks
that. I need that money eye mask.
yeah, she looks good, and I feel like a little bit about fecal matter in them. That collection that they did is called like the 1%, and so the styling is basically making fun of like the rich or whatever, and so the money mask that she's wearing is symbolizing how they're blinded by money, which is really cool. So yeah, shout out to her. I feel like she picked that outfit. They picked that out last minute because that show like kind of just came out. Um, but yeah, thank you, Kyra. I wanted to share my artist date this week. I on Thursday or Friday when I got home, put it on YouTube and I just binge watched David Bowie videos. I learned so much about him. Um, He's he's always been an inspiration to me. I feel like him and I share similar Capricorn energy, and I just love how I love how rebellious he is, and I just love how he shows up as an artist. Like one thing that I noticed about him is that he he wasn't afraid to reinvent himself, and so I feel like that was one of the that was kind of like unheard of back then. So he had different personas like Ziggy Stardust. He had Major Tom. He had one sleek looking guy. He had the clown look. Um and just how he named all of his personas just like really is inspiring to me too, because in the age of social media we've gotten to a point to where you need to have multiple accounts for different aspects that you would like to share. And at first, I thought I was thinking like, oh, that's kind of lame how I can't just post on one account and people just like me for me and then they understand. But so I felt kind of like restricted by that. But then looking at Bowie, it reminded me that you can have several different personas. It's kind of um, like Future, like his artist name is Future, but he goes by so many nicknames like Pluto or uh Playboy Cardi's nickname given by fans is like Baby Boy and stuff like that. And so it was just like a reminder that like you don't really have to be locked into this one thing. Um there are many expressions of you, and sometimes it may not always be palatable for the audience, but it's totally okay to have um more than one persona, like how Nicki Minaj is like uh Nicki the Ninja, like she has all types of, or she has like Roman or whatever, like there's so many different expressions. Lucy said, I think the new name kind of breaks the restrictions that get built up around the old one. There's this guy from Oasis that then did Gorillas. Oh, can you explain that, Lucy?
Oh yeah, it's like different music artists. Like the guy, there's like a guy. This I think it's the singer from Oasis, the guy that did Wonderwall. I don't. They're a British band, so
Hmm.
I don't know if anyone like has ever heard of them. But
Hmm.
yeah, and then they went and did Gorillas, which is like a completely different sound. Like completely different, and they're also really amazing too. Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
I
know
only found that
that.
out like a few months ago, I think. And I was like,
Oh,
there's so
wow.
and there's a lot of things like that. There's especially in music. So I think there's like a DJ called like Fatboy Slim who did like
Yeah.
this whole era of like rave music, and then he went and did this other thing, and I think they use their like names and different like band names because it also
Yeah.
because you do kind of sometimes build up expectations on like a fan base for you being a particular way, and like sometimes if you want like total artistic freedom you kind of almost like sometimes need to kind of bulldoze that
Yeah.
to so that you can really go and explore like the next thing. Not every artist needs to do that. Like some of them already establish themselves as like here are these like
Hmm.
different names and like versions of the self, and then some people just completely do like a totally new name. There's another guy too. I think a lot of DJs do it. Like a lot of
Yeah.
DJs like will because I think Flume is one of them. Like Flume is like really known for a certain style, and then he has this like totally other different name for a completely different style. And it turns out I've been listening to both the same artist, like liking them, but thought they were so different. It turns out they're the same guy. I'm like, oh, okay, that's so
Oh,
funny.
wow.
But yeah,
So I
that's what I
think
meant.
Oasis, they were like a shoegaze band.
I think they're like indie. They're like
Okay.
indie, like guitar, like today is gonna be the day I'm giving it back to you. That one.
Okay.
And then you've
Okay.
got
Yeah.
Gorillas, which is like feel good. It's
Yeah.
like completely different.
I love that though, because it's still because Gorillaz has like their Oasis songs. I love that. Okay, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I think another good example is like when Erykah Badu is in her DJ occupation, she's low down Loretta Brown. So yeah, I felt freed by watching Bowie just have all these personas and not getting because social media will have you think that you can really only be one way, especially when you start getting into like social media marketing and they're like, oh, you want to have this signature, you want to have this signature this, you want to have this signature that. And I felt so freed by him. And there was this interview that he did when he was Ziggy Stardust. Um, he was like, I find myself to be like a collector. Like I like getting around people and I like copying their accents and stuff like that. And he was like, I just picked up a new accent today because of some guy that he was around and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I can relate to that too. Um I always tell my friends, like, when it comes to making music, like, I don't necessarily want to write the songs. Like, I want somebody to present the song how they want it to be interpreted. And I want to copy that. And I feel like for me, that it's like a form of channeling um, rather than, um, I'm not so much like so stuck on it being like my own, I have to do it. Um, my expression. Lucy said, I think it kind of helps you to step into a different self, giving yourself that new name or persona for it. But yeah, the niche down and know your brand has always given me the ick. And that, Kyra says, transhumanism agenda, that makes me go into some homework for next class, which is the prism of the self from the Creative Act. In the prism of the self, where is it? It's in here somewhere. But from what I remember, the prism of the self in the creative act is it's page 363. Basically what he's talking about is how every aspect of yourself, and I like how he used the word prism too, because we're not just one way. Point blank period. We're not just one way. Um yeah, and I love how Bowie said that he can't stick to one thing. Um I feel like Sierra looks like Beyonce from Black is King. Does anybody else want to share their artist date this week? Has anybody been going to their artist dates? Do you need us to hold you accountable for your artist date? Lucy said, I kind of like the term prism because I'm a totally different way depending on where the light is hitting. Ashe. I feel that. Yes. Unmute Ariel.
Hi. Um, so I have kind of been sucking at my artist days, but my plan this week, I had a really intense week emotionally. Like I really got pounded by the Scorpio moon. But
Mm.
I was like, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna like pound it down. Um, I'm gonna try to keep up with this stuff, but I'm also going to trust the cycles of life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but anyways, so I had this vision of doing cooking like at nighttime, setting the mood, whatever. It didn't look like that. It was like in the middle of the day, just kind of as I had to cook. But I would say that the like nice part of it was something I had been wanting to cook and like get down right. Because one time I was in Colombia and I was staying on an Airbnb, it was like years ago. And they were like building a retreat center there, but it wasn't open as a retreat center yet. So they it was like not expensive to just stay there because they were trying to make money as they were building it. Um, so anyways, I got food there and they had these Jamaica tacos that they put like pineapple on it. So they're kind of like al pastor tacos, if you guys know what those are. But the pineapple with the like hibiscus, it's just really good. And I had tried to make them before, but it just really didn't work. But this time I feel like I got them down. So I did feel excited about that. I was like, oh, and I shared with my friend. And so that was nice. And I think this week there's I know someone in town who, there's like and my town's really small. It's like 3,000 people, but there's a theater. And so someone I know, is gonna do like a one-person show. So I think I'm gonna go to that as my artist date, and I hope to feel inspired by it on Thursday. So it's my first time like going out, so I feel like it's a big deal. But also because I live in a small town, it's been kind of hard because to like get to the closest city, it would take like an hour and a half by bus, and I'm like, eh. I don't know. So to go to Puerto Vallarta. So it's been kind of, I feel like I've needed more creativity than when I was living in the city. And I was like, oh yeah, my artist day, I can just go to a museum, pop over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. I need to really make the landing page. Is that Madonna? I need to make the landing page. I need to make the landing page this week because I would love for you to share that recipe with us. Jicama tacos sounds amazing. And hibiscus is a synchronicity because Miriam put the hibiscus tincture in the Garden of the Beloved box. And yeah, I feel like it's that time to because the hibiscus plants have been popping out too. I've been seeing them on like establishments and stuff like that. It's so interesting. All the Kardashian sisters are doing this nipple thing for the Met Gala. Like all what they're wearing has had like nipple details, which is really cool. But yeah, I'm gonna make that landing page so you can share um so we can share that type of stuff with each other. We can post pictures of our artist day and just find ways for each of us to be accountable. I know Nicole had mentioned the full moon when I had sent out that email, and I was like, yeah, we need to make that landing page so we can talk about this kind of stuff and also hold more support for each other too, as we move through these cycles and stuff like that. Because like even today, or like the portal that we're in right now is Beltane. I always count the Met Gala as a Beltane ritual. um I just love it. Hi Nicole, you can unmute. I'm gonna mute myself.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I go by Blue, so Nicole, yeah, I'm actually going through a big creative rebirth. Um, but thank you to everybody shared. My artist date was actually finally being back in the studio and and writing and recording and with two of my one of my best friends who's an incredible artist. And I've been an artist since I was really young, and I've gone through so many. I love what you shared about David Bowie. That's such a great idea, to watch videos. But I've also been going through a breakup, or break, whatever. But this moment in time of me, like, it's really, I don't know if y'all know about the Sophia stage, but I feel like Sophia is going to be my new Sophia Blue Nile is going to be like my new thing, like, because the female version of Christ, or the female whatever infinite. But the awakening that I'm going through, is a bit overwhelming. So I'm really grateful to be here with y'all who also have the NAMS, our community, because as a clairvoyant, as a person who is way too tapped in and sober, so I don't numb out anymore. um I have been kind of finding crazy makers to hide myself behind. And I just had such a big awareness last week of that because of the Crazy Makers chapter. And this week, where I was like, oh my God, I'm literally in a relationship with a crazy maker. And I'm saving this, I'm a free spirit. I love, and I tend to save women. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm done with my women era. I think I'm ready to go to try men, because as far as dating and personally, because I am a savior and a rescuer. And I need to rescue myself right now as far as my artistry, because I'm channeling so many things are coming out of me. But I'm so grateful to be here, because the week one of safety, the week two identity, like, my identity has, but I've been working on it for, a couple years of finalizing, leaving some situations. And I wrote a book called Trauma Thriver, to, like, it was my Mess to the Message, a poem book, but this was me still in that victim suit, the identity of a survivor, because it's real when one's a survivor, but it's also not real because my feelings are valid, and it's time for me to be victorious. It's time for me to step into a whole new identity and energy system and creatively express it however I want. And because I'm such a multidisciplinary artist, people have tried to put me in all the boxes, and I've kicked my way out or stayed stuck, because I've been literally stuck in record deals because they want me to be like this person, be that person. And I'm like, no. Or, in those moments of men wanting to sleep with me, and I said no, so someone else got the shot. Like, this is real. And so being a professional artist, like, releasing all that, like, I loved what someone was sharing last week. That's my experience too, because I've been in this business since I was a kid. And but allowing myself to do it for my love, do it for me, not let the monstrous, so we're talking about, like, America and this colonizational aspect of this specific region of the earth. But the ley lines are there. Like, my indigenous roots in Africa and Jamaica and all of the Europeans, like, I'm not even from where I live. Like, I haven't even been to my indigenous homes. Like, what? But I am going now, etherically and energetically. And I've done so much clearing. So I digress. I went, my artist date was such a success. And at the same time, I was cutting cords with this enmeshment, this attachment, and realizing a lot of lust and desire and enslavement. And I'm like, oh no, honey, this is not my frequency. Let me stop doing this thing. And it all goes back to mommy and daddy wounds, which, God bless, my dad's passed on now, but my mom is still, I come from some narcissistic survivor stuff, and some things. So me understanding as this pure vessel that I am now, and who to trust and who not to trust. And I'm in LA, y'all. These games are real serious, even with the spirit in the spiritual realm. Like, it is too much when people really, 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 even not in just entertainment, but in the spiritual realm, perform. And I've gone through that as a healer and as a sound, and I do all the things in the shamanic healing and all this. but I've had to pull myself back. And now, luckily, it's all purifying and everything. Like, but I've gone through such a very isolated stage. So I digress. Sophia Blue Nile is now, I'm going to do that because I've been going like, how do I do this? But Sophia and y'all just inspired me. And I'm like, because I'm putting out new music and it's a whole new persona. So it's like, bring that in. So, anyways, I digress. I just wanted to share. Thank y'all so much.
Oh my God, I love that Sophia Blue Nile, and I'm so glad that these meetings are recorded because I want definitely want to go back and listen to what you said because I feel like what you said just touched on a lot of things that I am working through right now, like the enmeshment, the chords, and everything. When I had did my etheric gardening practice session with Ariel, I think maybe a week and a half ago, Ariel brought up how I'm moving between timelines and stuff like that. So I was listening to Timeline Jumping 1.0 with Nems, and I was like, wow, I really do need to get to cutting cords. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that too, because that's just how I'm feeling. And you also mentioned where we're at in the book, week two, recovering a sense of identity. There's there when you're doing that work, like you start to feel, and I'm pointing to my sacral chakra right now. You start to feel all of the cords like attached to you right there, and like that's your creative sector. And oh, it's just crazy. I know I mentioned last week how everything is fighting for our attention, and it sounds like you really were able to take a laser eye view on what is courting you, and I love that. That's really inspiring. So thank you for affirming that, and I want to continue to take that into the weeks ahead because if week two was the sacral chakra, week three is the solar plexus with recovering a sense of power. So yeah, I'm ready to go in. Okay, Lucy, you can unmute.
Hey, I just wanted to say as well, Sophia, like that must have been really intense realizing that you were in such a close relationship with someone who's a crazy maker, especially as an artist. Like, it's kind of insane. Like, so just like, yeah, I see you. I feel like I'm like a recovering addict from crazy makers, and I think even just like I'm so proud that I've like kept up all my morning pages, like all three like full A4s, and it feels like even that process is like clearing out chords, clearing out gunk, like old gunk that I don't think I've really like had the chance to look at. And yeah, I had this really interesting experience where like I've had a new kind of like opportunity in my life which I wasn't expecting. And I had, oh yeah, I guess like a crazy maker like kind of come in and really try and inject and infect almost like this thing that's like really cool. It's really cool. It feels like very good energy. And the irony is that the opportunity I've been invited into, like almost it feels like kind of their tenants is like to be aware of energy, to make sure energy's clean, to really be in discernment around things. And as I don't know, I kind of feel like I've been in this place where I'm like, you know, when you're kind of like trying to see if someone is like for you or not, and you're like, you're kind of crazy, but like you might be like a good crazy or you might be like a bad crazy. And like that's kind of where I've been with somebody. And then I know it's just been so, I feel like if I didn't do the artist way, I wouldn't have been able to see it as clearly, maybe, because it's like it's just my attention's more there now. But I started to see how kind of a new-ish friend acquaintance was like trying to like inject a narrative into something that I'm being involved with creating. And I was like, oh, interesting. Like, that's really interesting. And although I kind of like shut it down and like cleared it out, um, I had this process too of like, if I share that, am I now a crazy maker? Is it like, does it like pass on the crazy? But it definitely took me into, yeah, cleaning out mommy wounds, cleaning out father wounds, cleaning out like um this I mean, to name it specifically, it was like if I don't tend to the crazy, then like a big bomb is going to go off. It's like there is some kind of ticking time bomb, and if I don't play with the crazy, like it's going to blow up. And I'm really learning that like I'm on a new, it feels like a new timeline with things. It feels like I'm on a new timeline with things to be able to be like, I don't need to do that. I don't need to play that. There is no rush. I can just like clear the energy of things. I can remember myself. I can ground into me. Um, and yeah, and then it feels like after that, my art estate, I started making a pair of pants. And I feel like that's symbolic too, of just like I'm making my pants. I'm wearing the pants in my life and not just gonna, I don't know, like think I just have to say yes to everything. And especially too, because like the situation with the crazy maker, so I'm still new to like California and I don't really have too many like in-person friendships right now. And I know they're cooking in the background with spirit. Like I kind of trust that. But an element was like, oh, this like person, this crazy maker is actually like this like IR in real life contact that you can have. And like, you should probably put up with the crazy. And I kind of realized like I like my own company enough. Like I'm actually pretty good. Like I'm good for that. So yeah. Um yeah, wearing the pants. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm good. And they're like comfy looking pants too. They're like wide leg and they're like baggy and they're cute. So yeah, thank you. And I'd love to see a group chat where we can all like share the things we're making cuz yeah, that would be awesome.
Everyone, Beyonce has arrived to the Met Gala.
I know. I was
um,
thinking, I was like,
Beyonce's here. Beyonce is giving Brie Charnel, and I'm not into it. Um, but yeah, thank you, Lucy. I feel like with the share so far, I feel like we're kind of all in this same type of space where um it's kind of like a decluttering. I feel like maybe it's the full moon, but it's kind of like I'm wanting to create this energy and I feel like oh, look at Blue. I feel like the sense of creating a sense of identity also comes with clearing space so you can feel more of your own energy. And I feel like we're all feeling that right now. And also I feel like the NIMS theme for this month is also fitting for it too. I think the theme is like restoration or something like that, like creating paths of restoration. Because it's just like at this point we've reached the point to where we just need our we need access to our own energy reserves to be able to like do this work. So I feel like we're all like on the same states of replenishment. Yes. Yeah, because like I feel like this weekend I didn't sit down as much as I could, but I just intentionally was just like I just need to like chill. And I did that and I feel like I'm also being told to say no to things because of the boundaries card came up in my new moon reading and stuff like that. So yeah, I just feel like what everybody shares, like we've reached a point to where we're just like, okay, um, as we're creating these new parts of ourselves and rebirthing these parts of ourselves, there needs to be a part of us that is having access to our own energy. So I feel like we're all on the same wavelength. And I love the pants thing, Lucy. That's so cool. Hi, Ariel.
Yeah, it's just a similar thing that I just want to say because I'm like, oh, it's all connecting. But I feel like my crazy maker, I realized, well, one of the things I think was just trusting my intuition as it is. Like there was some, I live in a small town, as I said, there was someone who like clearly liked the guy I was dating. And I feel like was just doing all these things, like so many like, like a little two-faced, like how she'd act towards me versus how she'd act in front of other people and all this stuff. And it was literally driving me so crazy. And I think it's like bringing up a lot of like being bullied, like being in a lot of resistance to it, like, am I really not in me not trusting myself that I was really seeing it. There was like that was resistance, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm making this up, or maybe, like why would someone act this way and all this stuff. But then I finally got to the point where, like, especially I also had, counsel and the good thing is I have a lot of psychic friends. And we were like, yep, that is what's happening, And I feel like as soon as I just was like validating my own intuition, I feel so much freedom of just like, yeah, and stay away from me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to think about you. You don't deserve any of my time and effort. And that's like, it's just, I think there's this freedom of just like trusting our intuition about people, of like, no, you can't be close to me. Like, I'm not going to pretend like this isn't happening. I feel I can see what you're up to, and I'm not available for that. I'm not available for being in competition. I'm not available for any of what you're up to. And I can just trust that. And I just, and as soon as I did that, I felt like so much freedom of my energy of just like, and again, it's really just a self-validation is the main thing of it, and I'm like, my creative energy doesn't need to be wasted in this, and so yeah, I think that feels like a big thing. And I think I keep getting this message. There was someone, Patrice. There was a time that she said, this isn't private, so I don't think it's weird I'm sharing it, but there was a time where she was sharing like, I don't think it is. Like, is it? I don't think she would care. But there was a time that she was sharing something. She's like, it's time for me to be Patrice centered. And I like love that because she, all of us like retired empaths of just like caring for all these other people. And I just like I've been really trying to download that energy and like get it through my cells of like, no, I'm in a time of being RAL centered. I'm not like for you to get a lot of my energy, you can show me that you deserve that energy. And other than that, like bye. I'm gonna be in my creative cave and doing things that give me joy. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh man, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, because in week three, Julia talks about how this is the week of getting angry. So while you're creating your identity and like you're seeing, um, oh, what's her name's being bossy with her husband. Um, Week two is about creating your identity, creating space, and then noticing all of your patterns. And so week three is about getting angry about, oh, damn, I created all of this shit, basically. And so I think I say that to say I think we should all brace ourselves as we enter week three because I feel like with your share, Ariel, that's like a great example for anger to come up when you do realize like how a crazy maker has had um access to your energy. Or like for me, I called Grishby on his birthday yesterday and I was telling him about how I'm like, damn, I wish I didn't spend all this money on perfume and stuff like that. I could have spent this money on other things and stuff like that. But Grishby, are you available to share what you told me yesterday? Because I think it would be really insightful.
Um, go for it, and then I'll add on because I want to make sure you're
Yeah,
hitting the point.
you had mentioned that it's actually like, okay, get angry, but then also and move forward in a way, and kind of like what Julie is saying, use the anger as a map, basically. I have it highlighted. She says, anger is
Okay.
meant to be listened to. Anger is a voice, a shout, a plea, a demand. Anger is meant to be respected. Why? Because anger is a map. Anger shows us what our boundaries are. Anger shows us where we want to go. And I feel like that's kind of what you were telling me yesterday.
Yeah, okay, perfect. That helped me mentally get to where I needed to be. Really good share, Lucy and Ariel, by the way. And I think like this ties into both of their points as well. Um, you do have to go through the mo essentially what I was explaining to Tiana is like with Tiana, this was mentioning specifically about money. And it's like, okay, you spent money because you wanted a thing. And then, once it's done, there's this whole like mental construct. Essentially, it's an obstacle course of thinking of like, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda, dang, I could have did this, X, Y, and Z. So it's not necessarily about you feeling any type of regret or grief. It's just more so about you just taking it as a lesson. Like, because I think wants are very, very important. I think people get wants confused with let me not say confused. Sometimes wants it can be webbed into responsibility. Like you need to be doing X, Y, and Z in your life. You can't be out here spending money on your desires and things like that. So I always just encourage everyone that's around me. It's like open a discretionary account, like how you have a checking and a savings. You also need an additional discretionary account because um, it's important to be able to do those things so you don't live in that mental construct of, oh, woulda, coulda, shoulda. So back to the point, she purchased this perfume and like, oh, I could have did X, Y, Z with this money. And it's not even about like the direction that the money went into. It's more so about what this money, the feeling of the spending is bringing you. It's like if you need the perfume to feel this sense of lifestyle, if you need to spend money on whatever the thing is to feel a sense of yourself, that's the same as saving because it's like you can't mentally think like, oh, I need to hold on to my money. I need to hold on to my money because you're spending money. In my opinion, it's not that you're losing money. I think it's just more so on the back end, the awareness of it. Like, I know I shouldn't necessarily buy this $300 perfume. However, I'm going to go ahead and get it. But the next time, I'm going to skip out on the $300 bottle of perfume. So all of that to say is you don't have to neglect yourself of your wants and desires because of quote unquote responsibility. And then on the flip side of that coin, there's going to be what Julia calls the censor, you shouldn't be doing that. Up, you're spending all your money. You got to pay your light bill and things like that. That's why I always say to have that safety net, do your discretionary account. And maybe the discretionary account, it doesn't apply to a physical form of money for everyone. Maybe that's just a time thing, such and such, like these new lovers that's coming along, like, hey, you can't have as much access to me. So again, not the same thing as money, but it's just like I can't spend as much money on you. I can't spend as much time on you. So it's not about oh, I'm losing out, I'm wasting this. It's more so on the back end about the awareness, like, cool, I can afford a $300 perfume every 3 months, not every paycheck. Or I can afford to spend this amount of hours with you every week versus like, oh, actually, I can only see you once a week or so forth. So just zooming all the way out, the blanket statement is when you're dealing with money, when you're dealing with time, any type of currency, whether it be physical or energetic, it's more so just about like being aware of where I'm putting this currency and what it is, the input and the output, where I'm putting this currency and what it's going to bring me. So whenever I do get it, I already know my other options. I know I could have did this with my $300. I know I could have did this with my time, but it's like I'm choosing to go down this path. So that way, when you make it to the end point of that path, you don't have to deal with that web of that mental construct of like the woulda, coulda, shoulda, oh this, oh that, because the awareness is, you've already like used the awareness as your armor. So now it's like your next decision making, your next opportunity. It's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do with this amount of money. This is what I'm going to do with my time. So hopefully that makes sense. So that's what Tiana and I were kind of chatting about on Sunday. But yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, and as you're speaking, I'm like, week two was recovering a sense of identity, but I feel like recovering a sense of identity has a lot to do with energy management, which money is a form of energy, money is a form of currency. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I feel like the energy and the identity part is all tying in together. So thank you so much. Yeah, so moving into week three on page 61, 62, Julia talks about recovering a sense of power. This week may find you dealing with unaccustomed bursts of energy, sharp peaks of anger, joy, and grief. You are coming into your power as the illusory hold of your previously accepted limits is shaken. You will be asked to consciously experiment with spiritual open mindedness. And me, I'm reading that like I'm so open minded, I'm so spiritual, I'm so open minded, but we'll see what comes up. I have a few things that are highlighted from the last time we did the artist way together. Um, Julia says, in the recovery of a blocked artist, anger is the first sign of health on page 61. And then I also have highlighted, anger is not meant to be acted upon, it is meant to be acted out. Um, so I'll see what comes up with that this week. Another thing that I highlighted is on page 62, anger is not the action itself, it is action's invitation. And I don't have any fire in my chart. I'm all water and all earth. And so anger energy does not sit well in my system. I also have a Mars retrograde in my system. So whenever I experience anger or and I encounter or interact with it, I'm so uncomfortable with it. I feel like the closest thing to me being able to process anger would be my Scorpio moon. If you were to use Scorpio's rulership from Mars, but I feel like Scorpio anger is just a lot waterier than like an Aries or like a fire sign type of anger. So when I get into the anger spectrum, it's like really murky for me. It's long and it's drawn out and it's Kyra said it's boiling water. It's boiling water that's like also really, really dirty. Like it's just nasty. Like um so I love how she says sloth, apathy, and despair are not the enemy. Oh no, she says sloth, apathy, and despair are the enemy. Anger is not. Anger is our friend. Not a nice friend, not a gentle friend, but a very loyal friend. It'll always tell us when we have been betrayed. It'll always tell us when we betrayed ourselves. So moving into week three, that's something that I'm tracking. Just like what you were talking about, Lucy, trying to decide like whether or not you want to keep this specific type of crazy maker in your realm because are they the good crazy, are they the bad crazy? I feel like I'm dealing with something like that too. And the main thing that's making me not say yes to this person is me not wanting to have that self betrayal because I feel like I don't want to move into another cycle, another season of not saying yes to myself. I feel like that's what we've all like kind of like have been saying with our shares. Like we've just gotten to a point to where we just want to say yes to ourselves like 100% at this point, not 99%, not 98.7%, but like fully 100% yes, choosing ourselves, um, with the NEMS community, following the breadcrumbs has led us here. And I feel like with the next theme of rejuvenation, I forgot what it's called again, but with the next theme of rejuvenation, I feel like this is the part where we're going to be able to like fully rest into the reserves of energy that we have been creating for ourselves. We'll be using this opportunity to really like nest in the identity that we set up in week two. Um, and with that, we'll be able to step into our power, like what Julia says. Um, After she talks about anger, she talks about synchronicity. She says that in the 60s it was called serendipity. Um, I feel like synchronicity is so NIMS coded. And that's why I'm just like, I have to have like the NIMS people, like we get into this book club together, because it's just like that's already like ground that we just dwell in synchronicity. And I feel like all of us in this on this call right now, like we're able to recognize and also create our own synchronicities, because we understand how the universe works in that way. So um yeah, but basically, Julia explained synchronicity to say that the universe has always got your back. And I remember her saying that I think we are more afraid of there being a benevolent God than we are afraid of there not being one. Because if there is a benevolent God, then that means that we have to actually hold ourselves accountable. Like we actually have to um use our gifts and abilities to create, to serve God, to honor God, like how I like to describe it, make it to heaven and stuff like that. um and again, with a lot of us being highly sensitives, like being able to be have given that lens to be able to perceive the world in this way, um is a huge responsibility. But what Julia is saying is that um it's just support. It's just support from the universe. Um and this type of support and this type of um sensory perception is really helping us to anchor beauty into the world. So that's the synchronicity chapter. Next, she talks about shame. And when I was listening to that chapter today, I was like, oh wow, shame is something that I deal with a lot. I've been thinking this week that I want to order um some fairy lantern flower essence, because I do feel like a lot of the shame that I carry is from um so fairy lantern is good for when you have like childish tendencies and you need to grow up. And I feel like a lot of my childish tendencies come from my family and my programming of them always seeing me as a little girl. And so I want to get some fairy lanterns so I can work through those pictures and those chords to like get them off of me so I can really step into being responsible. And so Julia mentioned something about shame and how art is a way that exposes your upbringing. Like art is a way that exposes the family shame. Um, I need to find the quote, but she said something like, she said something like, basically some artists, and so, this is something that I can relate to, when we finally do step into like what we're supposed to embody. Like for me, I can use real life example for me. Like me being a burlesque dancer, being a pole dancer, um there's still a shame that I feel when I'm going to my 9 to 5 each day because I'm just like, what if they find out, or what if like I think my biggest fear is like as an artist and as a performer, I'm worried about see like say my coworkers see me on like a billboard and like my butt is out or something like that. I'm worried about my coworkers being like, "Oh, see, I knew it. I knew there was something about her that was kind of just whatever it is." But I forgot what Julia said about that particular thing, but when she was saying it, it brought up for me like um what may be holding me back in a way from fully like embodying the the person that I want to be. Grishby said, "Bump them coworkers, though understood." Yes. Yeah, and so I not only feel that energy coming from my coworkers, I not only feel that energy, I feel that energy just like from family, um, and just like, oh, I'm spitting. Ugh. But I just feel like that in general. Gosh, I wish I would have highlighted it, what when she said it, but hmm. Yeah, so there's that. Does anybody want to say anything about shame? Um
Yeah,
Jam?
I absolutely loved your share. And I think that shame is just the best way to get aligned, because sometimes when you like ashamed of stuff, it really be putting you where you need to be. For example, I remember I was like so ashamed of really getting on the internet about doing hair. Because I just like before I got into the beauty industry, I was in the production world. So and I always saw myself, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna work my way all the way up to like movies and things like that. Because I like being positioned. Some kind of way I got ashamed of like being seen. I have to do like a lot of deep work in my own space to get to like, okay, why not? Because I just remember in college, I was like in articles doing this, like, yeah, take my picture, look at me, look at me. But then after that, I was like, no, no, shame, 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 shame. But I just remember in terms of shame, this month May just made me 2 years of being a stylist with this company. And for the whole first year and a half, like I was not posting anything. And this is also a requirement to have the role. Like you have to post on the internet that this is what you do before and after X, Y, and Z. So that shame was just boiling there. And I've always had this dream of like just kind of being like in this whole Batman Robin situation. And now since I've overcome this shame, it's happening. So like I love, love, love music. And I always have wanted to be able to like I'm gonna be the hairstylist for like a big music artist and things like that. So since I've overcome this shame, an opportunity has come to me where I'm now able to express this creative outlet. The shame has like 100% evaporated, and now I'm free. So pinning that back to my point, once you really work through shame, that's when God comes in. When you really are just bold, because it's not even about the being seen part. It's really about the heart posture. God is just looking at us to see like, okay, you're asking for this and you innately want it, but shame is also attached to fear, in my opinion. But shortly put, I was shamed about what I was doing in my career, like what's bringing me money, what's sustaining me. I was very embarrassed of it, but like now since I've leaned into it, I'm actually on in the internet space. All these random people are seeing it and all of the things. Not random people, but just the masses are seeing it. And now I'm aligned. Like not only am I um financially sound, I'm also being creatively fed, and like those opportunities are coming with more opportunities, and then those opportunities is even more money attached to that. So that's my share about shame. So yeah, it doesn't feel good at first, but I'm happy I leaned into it. And I'm just getting real cool with my sensor. My sensor does get on my nerves, but I'm just getting real cool with him. I listen to all his bull crap, and and I just meet him with forward motion. So that's that.
Yes, thank you for sharing that. You had mentioned fear. Julia says those of us who get bogged down by fear before action are usually being sabotaged by an older enemy, shame. And I feel like on the scale that I showed y'all last time, the little funnel thing, uh, yeah, the little funnel thing. I think shame is all the way at the bottom. I think shame is the very one of like the lowest consciousness thingies that you can experience. Uh, I feel like that's so dramatic, but like, um, but yeah, it is down there. It is down there. Um, and I also found, oh yes, thank you, Kyra. Yes, shame is all the way at the bottom, and then guilt is above it, and then apathy is above it. So, shame dwells in the hell realm. Um, so yeah, it's basically like a form of like mental torment, and I'm glad that that is talked about as a way to work through um in this week. So I'm really going to be paying extra close attention to that. And I found the part that I wanted to share. She said making a piece of art may feel um, a lot like telling a family secret. Secret telling, by its very nature, involves shame and fear. It asks the question, what will they think of me once they know this? And that's exactly how I feel. I feel like that's how I feel about my family because I haven't even told my mom that I did a burlesque show last year because I just feel like she's not in the position to understand it. And then like with my coworkers and stuff like that, um, yeah, I feel like it's gonna be like a see, I knew it. That's why she acted weird or whatever stuff like that. Um, I have Blue and then Lucy.
Hey y'all. I just love how spirit, we are so all aligned. Exactly what I was going to share, the David Hawkins map, like the the fear of visibility, the fear of vulnerability, the fear of rejection that collapses my courage and my neutrality to want to create and express. So then I'm in a survival loop again. And then I'm attracting emotionally unavailable people, crazy making dynamics, anxiousness. That's not even mine. I've just I've just left my truth because I felt like maybe it's safer to chase something else than be seen. So I can totally disassociate in the emotional map, right, of who am I to create that shame and unworthiness, and the fear and anxiety. Like, what if I feel or get rejected, right? Like the desire, the craving, like, let me seek validation through love or through belonging or through something. And this is the loop, and it's the avoidance of me. And then I'm too overwhelmed to create. It's just like I'm grateful for the clarity, and we're all sharing the same thing. So I'm so grateful for this container. Thank you for putting this together, and thank all of us for being here, because our art, our everything needs to be out in the world right now. And the low frequency survival loops of fear is just like, that's not even true. This meat suit, this is an illusion. This is the Maya. This is the physical. We know the truth, the great universal spirit. Spirit is everything. This is the fun game that I get to play when I don't have spiritual amnesia. Yeah. And spirit is creative. That's creative amnesia, because we are all creations. So I am a creator, and it doesn't matter. We're all creators, and we're waking up to it. And why am I choosing these distractions? Oh, because I'm a survivor and I'll feel like I'll be harmed again. No, baby, I won't, because I'll protect myself now. But this has been me coaching myself through the years to get to where I'm at. So I just wanted to share that, and I'll stop because I know we're on time. But everything is so connected, and I'm grateful for us to transmute it and transcend it, because it's not real. We get to choose by our free will to transcend and to feel into that higher frequency of enlightenment and peace and truth. Well, not truth is subjective. So the quality of love, creation. So that's it. Thank y'all.
Yes, the quality of love of creation. For me, I've been calling it anchoring in beauty. Like I was thinking about how as artists, like being an artist is such a luxury because that means that we've gone past survival mode and now we have this opportunity to look at this leaf and sketch it, or we have an opportunity to some like at some point in the timeline of humanity somebody saw some black pepper seeds and was like, let me crush this, and it just became like this thing. Like it's just so amazing to me that as humans, as human technology that we are, that we got to a point to where we can be leisurely enough to create because we're not in survival mode. I feel like we're all like bouncing off of each other and echoing the same thing. So yeah, thank you so much. Hey Lucy.
Hey, I'll try and keep this short. I think the shame piece is like probably, I'm suspecting, gonna be the key thing that I'm actually like working on throughout the artist way. Cause I think for me, like I've always been very, very creative, and it's kind of like sometimes like ironic. Like I had like a career like when I was like younger being creative, and I've had like lots of success like being creative, and then I kind of went into this like other state of being ashamed, like so much shame around being successful, so much shame around my life looking easy. Like when you're I've like kind of almost like lived as this successful artist in quotations, and like I've I kind of yeah was almost like made to feel ashamed of myself for being white, like white and looking like I have an easy life. Um, how it made other people feel, like if I was really visible and creative and like having my shit together, which I didn't. It was like, but how that would make people feel. And I realized like I internalized a lot. I like really was made to feel ashamed of like how I marched to like the beat of my own drum and how my life kind of looked. And yeah, it always kind of makes me laugh that like I don't know, it's like there's a lot of people out there that like want fame and want visibility and want a creative career, and then like I had that and I was ashamed of it. Like I don't really ever tell people like, oh, I did this thing, or like I knew this person, or I had these things that people want. Um, and then the funny thing is too is like I kind of went through like I renounced it all. I like renounced all the fame, all the stuff that came with that, all the money that came with that. Like I renounced it all. And then I still felt ashamed of myself. Then I felt ashamed that I didn't appreciate it. Then I felt ashamed that I wasn't grateful. Then I felt ashamed that I'm no longer doing these things. So it just makes me laugh. Like it's just like I'm always gonna, the shame, it's so deep in me. It's, is it mine? Whose is it? And I just feel like I'm, even in my morning pages, is just like me just like walking through shame that I don't think I've ever really made the space to like confront. And it's funny because when you feel so ashamed of like being successful, it's like it really kind of hampers on a dream. Like you don't really let yourself dream of anything big because you don't want to be big, or it's like a dream within parameters of like what I don't know if this retired empath stuff of just like I don't know, just caring about what people think. But one of the affirmations I really liked, I think it was in the exercise of last week, where it was like go over week one affirmations and like see what gets the biggest reaction from you. And I think for me, there was like, as I create, I heal myself and I heal others. And I was like, wow, I think that piece, I really need to take that piece so that I can like work through the shame, because there's nothing to be ashamed of about being a creative person. There's nothing to be ashamed of about, having wins and being creative and there's nothing to be ashamed of like being successful. Like I shouldn't have to try and like keep myself down to kind of like stay in or get like keep myself like in shame almost. I don't know, but I just feel like shame's going to be a huge thing for me. I feel like I'm already cleaning up so much stuff around shame. So yeah, thank you for listening.
Yes, dude. I can totally relate. And I had to get my unk because I was like, shame, go. Get out of here. Get out of here, Shane. Like, because it just again, it just seems like another demon that needs to be slayed. Like, because it seems to create this loop. It seems to create this loop in like the consciousness scale that we're looking at. Like it keeps you in this hell purgatory survival um monster. And yeah, so I too will be slaying that demon as we move through these weeks together. Um and I'm also just going to be gentle with myself, approaching approaching uh the dragon that is shame. And yeah, just walking with it, talking with it, um and just really paying attention to that. I definitely want to get to a point to where because freedom is something that I value, I definitely want to get to the point to where, I mean, because I do feel like I do what I want, but I also do feel like there are things that I do that hold myself back. Um, and yeah, I just want to continue to just keep being clear, and also being so clear that it also gives other people permission to show up. Yeah, like you said everything. Um, let's see. Lucy said, literally, I'm going to be doing the same entity clearing energy on this shame. Already booted out a couple of old loots, cords from people. Yeah, we got to grab that cord cutting spray, grab your onks, grab your roses, who want to keep me feeling ashamed. Yeah. And it's so interesting, like the people who keep you feeling ashamed are definitely in the crazy maker category, because they see you, yes, thank you, Blue. They see you stepping out of your um they see you stepping out of your shackles, and it triggers things in them, because Julia says when people do not want to see something, they get mad at the one that shows them. And that's what happens when we're stepping into our artists. Um, yeah, I feel like there was a point where I didn't used to care about that type of stuff, but I feel again, social media is the culprit for making me feel so much shame. Um, I feel like it's gotten a lot worse now, where it's like the more audacity you have, or like the more cringe that you have, like it's just like this loop. But when you think about the people that are criticizing you on social media, it always tends to be people who just aren't even that cool. Like they're not even that cool. They tend to just be people that need other people's validation, and just all this lame stuff. And um, yeah, so I will continue to be putting up roses to social media, putting up an onk to social media, because I feel like I deal with a lot of um, shame energy from social media. And then also she talks about criticism on the next part. Um, I feel like I haven't received criticism yet because I haven't put anything out. But I know that the more I will put things out, the criticism will come. So I do want to keep that in mind. But yeah, y'all, to wrap up, she has us doing detective work, which I'm really excited to get into because I love digging up childhood memories, like how she talks about my favorite childhood toy, my favorite game, the best movie I ever saw. I love uncovering things from childhood because for example, the more that we're able to recall our memories, the more that we can take this. This is kind of like off topic of the artist way now, and just moving into just like create spiritual conversation in general. But I love recalling childhood memories because the more memories that you're able to recall, the more memories that you bring into you for the afterlife. Because in my cosmology, in because I study Egyptian religion, I study Kemetic religion. When you die and you go into the halls of Amenti leading up to heaven, you are recalling your memories one by one. And I've heard a lot of people describe this when they're describing their near death experiences. They say that your life flashes before you, like in like Polaroids or whatever, like picture stills. And so when we do practices of recalling our childhood memory, it it reminds me that our memories are the same. They're made up of the same things that our dreams are made up of. And the more that we can recall our dreams and the more that we can recall our memories, the stronger memory that we'll have when we go into the afterlife. And that way, when we go into the afterlife, like our memories aren't just like blackness, or we're not just like repeating an embarrassing moment that we had when we were working retail or something like that. Like um if you guys have watched American Horror Story, they have that one episode where everybody went to their personal hell. And I feel like when we recall our memories, we take ownership of our memories. And that way, so when we do go unconscious, or when we do go into this dream realm, or when we do go into the afterlife, we're like in charge of that. So that's kind of like off topic, but yeah, I feel like you guys would understand what I was saying. So I wanted to share that. Oh, Ariel said we are all stepping into ourselves centered area. Nah, for real. It's about time. And Lucy said, so grateful I could have made it today. Ariel says this meeting has been medicine. Oh, and our crazy makers ain't creating nothing but drama. Yes. Yeah, this last two last week and this week seems so jam-packed. So I think the landing page will help us a lot to share more of what we couldn't cover in the recording. Does anybody else want to add anything? Lucy says, thank you so much for creating this space. Thank y'all. I really do feel supported by y'all being here too, because I feel like I could say what I need to say because I know that you guys get it.
I have
But
something
yeah,
to say,
oh yeah.
just random, but I watched Asia Solar, she does, or Suler, she does
The
forecast this
intuitive
month.
readings.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I just
Yes.
watched the one for May and it's so good. So I recommend it. And she says how this month the theme is kind of like meandering, like basically just
following whatever you feel like doing, which I feel like is just perfect for the artist way. So I just wanted to say I recommend watching that one. Yeah, let me share the link in a second.
Oh yes. Thank you for reminding me. I love I love Asia Suler's medicine. She's just so she gets it. Like she really gets it. Um,
Yeah,
but
she
thank
was
you.
saying she was watching what's that one of that's like the hockey
I'm
the
begging you,
hockey
stop
lovers.
asking. Does that make sense?
Do you know what I'm
Is that a YouTube ad?
rivalry? Oh my God, yeah, I hate these AI YouTube ads.
I thought it was like a meme you were playing like for the
Somebody
class.
read it. Where
No, I
was
keep getting the
my
same. I keep getting the same AI YouTube ads, and they're like driving me crazy. Like this is a good way to make us pay, is because like literally going insane.
do,
But
do you not
I
have
feel
ad
like
block?
no.
Oh, you can get like a I can tell you more about it if you need it, but you can just Google like ad block extension and like you can it's
Oh
like a
my,
little
look at it.
add-on.
We're clearing all the crazy makers.
Yeah. And I mean, they have tried to like ban them a few times, but they always like rework them. But yeah, there's a thing called ad block, and it only really works on like your computer or laptop, and then it just kind of like you don't get adverts. It's really good, but it doesn't work on your phone though. I don't think
I
they
also
figured out
feel like
that.
I'm in Mexico and there's like less of those kinds of legal restrictions. So I kind of feel like I probably can find something. So thanks for
Oh yeah,
that.
yeah, no problem.
Awesome. Thank y'all. I'm definitely gonna create that landing page so we can have the ad block link as well. But yeah, I will be watching Asia Solar's forecast to whatchamacallit, the Garden of the Beloved meeting is tomorrow. Miriam will be talking about the rejuvenation or restoration theme for this month. And yeah, with that, I feel complete. Um, yeah, awesome, y'all. Oh, and I haven't been doing my morning pages, but I should do my morning pages right now. Um,
I've been doing mine before bed. They're night
yeah,
pages for me, but it's really
yeah,
nice. Yeah, I really like it.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's hold each other accountable to just do some type of pages and artist date this week. I haven't thought of what my artist date is. Um, but yeah. Ariel said I wake up with ADHD and I have to move first thing. Yeah, I feel that. Sometimes when I write in the morning, when it's dark, I get sleepy and I want to get back in the bed. So okay, y'all, I feel complete. I am gonna get ready for bed and get to some sort of pages because I feel like yeah, I feel like my brain needs to discharge in that way. Okay, good night, y'all. I
Before we
enjoyed it.
go, I had something to
Yes.
say. I
Yes.
thought, what if instead of doing morning pages written form, could a new way be like voice recorded pages or something, like perhaps just talking, even if that's just telling your dream or whatever, because it's easy to just grab the phone and wake up and just start saying some things. I mean, and maybe
Yes.
it could be like recording for 3 minutes since you have to do 3 pages. I feel like 3 minutes is a long time to talk, but even if it's not 3 minutes, it could be 1 minute or two. But I feel like, I mean, I've easily sent you a voice memo for 3 minutes, so I feel like it's possible. But maybe just trying that if you can't do the morning pages.
Yeah. I think
Um,
that's a good idea because I
yeah.
I do my dream recalls in the morning on my voice recorder.
hmm
So I think, yeah, even if I don't have a dream to recall, I could just, oh, I love that
I feel
idea.
like that would be kind of cool too because it's like hearing yourself say things versus like
Yeah.
reading what you wrote, like hearing
Yeah.
yourself say it and and playing that back. I don't know. I feel like that would be something. Like that would do something for
Yeah, I think
for one.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too. And then I will close with this. I was on TikTok and this lady was talking about how recording yourself every day, like for the point of making content, is also a way to timeline jump because once you start seeing yourself every day, you're getting an updated version of yourself all the time, and it
Mhm.
helps you to get used to that new part of yourself. I know, right? Sometimes TikTok will have that pocket that's like actually really good, and I'm like, I can't believe like I'm watching this. Like,
You
um,
got to show them that video you sent me. That was
oh
gold.
yes, yes. I'm gonna make the landing. Today is Monday. I'm gonna make the landing page.
Or the
Uh,
WhatsApp.
mm-hmm. Um, I want to do the landing page because it has like a homework section with Google Classroom, and I feel like that'll be fun. Kind of like a virtual classroom setting. Um, but yeah, y'all, I will share all what I just talked about in that. So, good night, everyone. Bye.
Ciao, bellas. Ciao, bellas. Mwah.